had some blacks who were learning to read, and they were realizing slavery was wrong, and they were finding ways out. And then you had the other blacks who didn't take the time to read and didn't take the time to find the way out. And I wouldn't say didn't take the time, but they were afraid to. There were other things on their mind just for whatever the reason may be. Mm-hmm. And then you think about that and you see those black people looking at the other black people like, bro, like, come on, like, what are you doing? Like, get up, let's go. Like, but there was so many of them that weren't on that level that it's like, I believe there's black people who own things. I believe black people have some kind of power. Mm-hmm. Not maybe, you know, the kind that we want.
We definitely own things. We definitely have things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's more along the lines of like self-preservation. You can only do so much. You can only excel so much. Yeah. You can only allow so many black businesses or things to grow. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't get the opportunity to become a McDonald's. We don't get the opportunity to become,
I agree.
What's the like big
Nike,
real estate?
Keller Williams
or something like that. But we could be the president of ABC and fire Roseanne for a racist tweet. But that's all we get.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's a cold world. It does go back to, like you said, with slavery, because you kind of think, okay, well, I'm good right here. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to go ahead.
I think we have decided, not all of us, some of us have said, you know what, I'm done fighting. I'm going to just accept what I have in life. Because, you know, freedom isn't always free. Mm-hmm. And you're going to pay the cost some way. So some people have just, they're like, you know what, I'm just going to take what I have. Mm-hmm. Because I'm done. I don't want to fight no more. I want to enjoy my life.
Do you think that goes hand in hand with what Kanye said? Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut it a little bit. Pause. So, I moved to Las Vegas because of Kanye West.
Oh, Lord.
Honestly, I did. When he came out with that song, All of the Lights. Mm. So, I was like, until it's Vegas, everywhere we are. Mm-hmm. I got to get there. Mm. So, I'm now in Vegas. Bring it back.
I'm in Vegas too, but not because of Kanye.
Press play. So, do you think it goes hand in hand with what Kanye said about slavery being a choice? Because there are people who take the time, they discover, you know, the way that they were living or the things that were being done to them was not right. And we need to revolt. But there were some who were just like, well...
Here's what I think about his comment. I think that because I read between lines, I know where he's coming from. Mm-hmm. You know, some people took it as, oh my God, he's crazy. He thinks slavery was a choice, blah, blah, blah. I think if kind of the context of how he said it, if I took it correctly, I personally think he was saying that no, slavery is not necessarily a choice, but it comes a time in life where you have to make a decision for you. You have to say, I don't care about any oppression.
Possibly lose,
yes, I don't care about oppression. I don't care if this person doesn't like that I stand up. I don't care this and that. You have to make a decision and say, I choose to walk in my own freedom. You know what I mean? I choose that I'm not going to be a slave to this system. And I'm going to choose to rise above whatever comes my way. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's what he meant. Too many people keep using, I don't have a job because the white man won't give me a job. I don't have this and that. That's not true. There's a lot of black people with great jobs. You know what I mean? And it's because they chose to make a decision to say, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. And not like that.
Right.
But in a sense, as when you think,
you have to adapt that mindset.
Exactly.
You have
think
to
like
decide that where you're at right now is not where you want to be in the future.
Right.
And I think when Kanye made that statement, a lot of people was like, oh my gosh, why would he say that?
Right.
And they just focused on the initial like shock value. Like, no, slavery is not a choice.
That goes back to that simple-mindedness of the black community.
And then everyone just piggybacks on it and piggybacks on it. And only... the social media is only going to show
the negative,
what would be harmful to our mindset or our progressive thinking.
Right.
A lot of people were not trying to understand that when you have, like, what was that, Birth of a Nation, Nat Turner, when you have people who are deciding to stand up for the black community for you, but you don't fall in line.
Right.
That is the type of choice that's what I believe.
Like, why was Rosa the only one arrested? Why does she have to go sit on the front by herself? Why didn't everybody on that back seat say, I'm going to sit with her?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And there were people, don't get me wrong, but it should have been a lot more. You know what I mean? It should have been a thing of, it's just all boils down to fear. Being afraid. You know, fear is very paralyzing.
That's what Cat Williams said.
What?
When he's like, when he was talking about controversy, he doesn't go and seek controversy.
It
Controversy waits for him.
Yes. No, and that's real.
And he was like, you have to, you know, pretty much make the decision to do what it is that you have been called to do, or what you feel passionate about, what you want to do. And
speaking of passion, no, like that really triggered something.
Yeah, so like if you don't, you know, find that inspiration, then you're, instead of walking like in that inspiration, you're walking in fear. And if you're walking in that fear, then that fear is what's going to get you to stop, and you'll be stuck where you're at while other people are progressing.
Well, I'm afraid to lose my job. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
At this point, I hate it, but I'm afraid to lose it, so I'm stuck because I'm scared. I can't like.
Speaking of jobs,
no, because I'm scared.
Because like I said, I moved to Las Vegas because of Kanye West. So I already knew, coming from California to Las Vegas, I was not going to make. You know what? I probably did that to myself because I knew I wasn't going to make the same amount of money.
No,
I couldn't
transfer.
My job was not transferable. So I had already put a number in my head of what I was going to be okay with, what I needed to survive out here.
Right.
And now I'm at that number.
And you hurting. You are hurt.
And now I want to go back to California. I was thinking to myself,
I'm trying to get a California wage in Nevada.
I was hoping for it. Oh my gosh, I was hoping for it. But it's all like a means to an end. So like what is it? You just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So
until you get to your next step. Yeah, like my auntie, she told me one day, she was like, I don't give bums money. She's like, it's just something I don't believe in. She said, I give them something to take them to their next destination. If it's cold, I'm not going to give you $1. I'm going to give you a jacket, because I know that jacket will keep you warm until you get to your next destination. And I believe in that. You know, the same thing with this job. Like, I don't really necessarily, it's like a love-hate. I hate it because I don't like the job description, but I love it because whatever this is paying for whatever I need to do to get to the next step. And so, you know, sometimes you got to hang in there and you got to work that job. You got to do that intern. You got to go to school. You got to, you know, adapt to whatever's going on just to get to the next position.
I used to not give homeless people or bums money. I used to give them recyclables.
That's a good one,
because I felt like
they need to work for it.
Not necessarily work for it, but it's always some type of exchange. So if I got to go to work and I got to make money, okay, well, you have to decide, you know, what it is that you want to do for your money.
Right.
But then at the same time, because I did have a situation out here when I first moved out here, and I had just started working, so I had to get my money right. And I was down to like, I had maybe like $7 and only 2 of it was cash.
No.
And so
not the like, 5 on the card.
And so I'm on my way to work. It was like a Friday. I'm on my way to work. And there was always this homeless guy who, I don't know if he was homeless, but there was always this guy who was on the side of the freeway, like as you exit. And so I was like, let me go ahead and give him my $2.
Right.
So I gave him my $2, and then I ain't have no lunch. I ain't have no lunch at work. I ain't have nothing. And after I got off work, I got home and I was like, oh my goodness, what the hell am I gonna do? I was like, I don't have nothing. And then I was thinking, because I like to listen to like, you know, personal development videos and things like that.
Right.
And I remembered, who was it? I think his name is Tony Robbins. That's what it is.
Oh, Tony Robbins. Okay.
Yeah. And he was talking about how he gave his last $10 or something as a tip to a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. I gave my last $2 to a person who was, I'm going to say, was in need.
Right.
And then to myself, I was like, you know what? This is not, this doesn't have to be a negative or a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
I can go ahead and enjoy the town. I can enjoy life. You don't necessarily, honestly, you don't need money in Vegas.
To be honest, you don't need money anywhere. I mean, you need money for essentials, but as far as enjoying life,
Mm-hmm.
you better learn to enjoy it without money.
Exactly.
Because if you can do that, you'll be able to enjoy it anyway.
Mm-hmm. And so I just went down to the Strip, and I'm walking over from the New York, down to like the T-Mobile Arena,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm taking a picture of the lady
Mm-hmm.
in front of the T-Mobile Arena.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy walks up, and he's like, "Is this concert sold out?" I didn't even know it was a concert. I was just going to have some free entertainment.
Right.
And I asked him, I was like, oh, I don't know what concert, who's going to be here. It's fucking Jennifer Lopez and Ricky Martin.
Oh, yes, that tour they're on. Uh-huh.
Yes. Cali Bash.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, well, no, I didn't know that they had a concert here. He's like, well, I have an extra ticket. I was like, okay, well, fine. Yeah, I'll go to the concert. And then he hit me. He's like, well, I was going to go stop and get something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to join me. Now, honestly, it's a white man. We're in Las Vegas.
Right.
I didn't know where this conversation was going to go.
Right.
But I was going to get me something to eat. But we had dinner. We had a concert. And then that was the end of it. And I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like, that was my weekend. A nice concert, dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even have to pay for anything. But it was just the fact that I had did, my
Your
good
due
deed.
due diligence. Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they say no good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
So you kind of think, people are kind of hesitant to do for other people because it's always, you got to think about, how does this impact me?
Right.
What is the whole...
My ex-boyfriend, I swear, he wouldn't give up $1 if it would save his soul. And it's because he was so concerned about him. Like, oh my God, I'm going to be out of $1. Mm-hmm. Not knowing that person may have less than what you actually think. Like,
And then if you just do it and you
don't
keep
never
that
know who might
positive
listen. Yeah.
mindset, then it's never a negative. Unless somebody's just really out to fucking get you.
It's weird to me because I notice, to me, I think it's weird. I think people who don't give a lot somehow receive a lot more. A lot more than people who do give. And that's not speaking to nobody in general. Just sometimes when I look at people who I think are selfish, and maybe they're not. Maybe they do things that I don't see.
I would probably say I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's necessarily the fact that they don't give.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so that they just kind of like have lived life or learned to live life. Like, I'm going to just think about what is going to be profitable, quotation mark.
Right.
Or like they would probably invest time in something that would benefit them as well as others.
Right.
So I think like the daddy from Everybody Hates Chris.
Mm-hmm. Terry Crews?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily that he didn't want to give, but it was more so the bigger picture.
Right, like saving money but also feeding the family.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree, but even speaking to what you're talking about, a lot of people are selfish, and like a lot of people don't have good intentions.
No.
Or
they're mad when they give to you. Mm-hmm. I don't want it. You know what I mean? You're upset about it. I wanted you to give this willingly because it makes it that much better. Yeah. It's crazy.
And that's funny because our last topic doesn't even go with anything that we just talked about.
I guess it does go with sharing. Look.
Oh, sharing is caring.
Yes, sharing is caring. Well, I guess I'll start our last topic, and it's about homegirls sharing their friends with friends. And the friends could be males.
They're friends with benefits. They're friends.
yes, let's just be honest. Women sharing men with their friends. How do you feel about it? Why do you feel that way? I wish we could call in.